Good evening, everybody. Good evening, all my friend, all supporter, my channel. And guy, tonight we want to come up with a new video where the Ukraine president, there's a war between Russia and Ukraine, and then where's this president of Ukraine, President Zelensky, and tried to meet with President Donald Trump, and then everybody know what his opinion, the former president, what's his opinion about what's going on in the war in between Russia and Ukraine, and then therefore, and my question is to me, I would like to ask, I would like to know why does the Zelensky president of Ukraine try to meet with the former president for, and then. He's running for re-election coming this November, and then is that make it everybody believe that the former President Donald Trump will regain the second term of the President of the United States? That's why Zelensky is believed, or why does he meet with the former president? And everybody, every day, the former president calls Zelensky a good salesman. He's a better salesman than everybody in the world. He say every time Zelensky come to United States, he always come back with 60 billion, 40 billion, 50 billion. This now, he's just coming to New York for 79 session as United Nations, UN, and then he said now he coming back to it. 8 million, I think $8 billion. That means the money is start coming down, and I don't know what's going on. That's why the former president is saying, guy, we remember we say that every day. Politics is it's something sometimes it's kind of confused. It's not a bad thing. You need politics. You need you need the leader. You need somebody to in charge the country. You need people everywhere to do the job. And so, but after all, the former president Donald Trump say about Ukraine, Zelensky, why does you wanna meet him? And then you guys go and look at it when he say a war Russia Putin cannot win. Donald Trump, the former president, is like excited. He's like, what are you talking about? And he did say that after the meeting with Zelensky, he said Zelensky don't even know what he talking about. He said the former president said Ukraine is done. There's no more Ukraine anymore. I mean, it can take two to 4 years. Ukraine would never become the same country anymore. Ukraine is like a meat grinder, the way Russia is does military in Ukraine. And then what he say, Ukraine, Russia cannot win the war. Look at the former president's face and see how he react to President Zelensky. Politics in the world, politics is become a dirty trick, and it's all over the world, guys. It's not like one country; it's all over the world. And then the former president Donald Trump, listen, guy, the guy don't start talking. The guy, it's like he say what is on his mind. I mean, that's what I see it. He just say whatever's come up, he just saying it, like it or not, he just saying it. So I'm gonna let you listen to it because I don't want you to say I say, and then I don't make the news. I report on the news, like everybody know. We are YouTuber. We do social media, so we bring the news to you. So if you don't have time to watch it on the TV or you go to work, but I bring it to you. If you connect with me, you go get it from me. But I'm asking you for a favor. The favor I'm asking everybody who support my channel, guy, please, always leave me a comment, share the video, like the video. If you're not subscribed to my channel yet, please do so. Go ahead and subscribe to me, guy. When you does connect with me, I will connect back to you also. And guy, I'm going to let you listen. Why does President of Ukraine, President Zelensky, want to meet with the former president, the U.S. the former president Donald Trump? And then everybody know. Plan to want a peace talk. Everybody know his decision about Ukraine war. He never have a thought to say Ukraine is just like Russia is not it's done. Ukraine is done. And then, but President Zelensky always believe he cannot lose the war, and Russia cannot win the war. That means he said Ukraine with one weekend would win the war. So let's listen to it, guys. And let me start right there, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like. Let's listen to it, guys. Let's go. Bang.
And, you know, Zelensky is sort of covering all his tracks. He met with Biden in Paris yesterday. Today, he really wanted to meet with the former president. There was some rumors that they wouldn't meet because Zelensky sort of criticized the former president in an interview, saying that he doesn't know how to end the war. But it seems that the relationship was cordial, and they were standing next to each other afterwards, saying that they believe that they could find a path to peace moving forward. So, you know, we'll have to wait and see. Everything seems to be on ice until after the elections.
Yeah, that's going to be something to watch out for, because no one knows as to which way the elections will go. And Volodymyr Zelensky, meeting both with President Biden and Kamala Harris, and now meeting Donald Trump, is trying to cover his bets, because post-November, depending on who is in charge in the White House, he'll have to work with them. Is there any indication that you're able to pick up as to what was it like when the two leaders, of course, met? How willing was Donald Trump to perhaps assist Ukraine in the war in the manner that Joe Biden has done so far?
Donald Trump has never come out directly and said that he was going to cut all funding and aid to Ukraine. He says that ultimately a negotiated settlement has to be, you know, the part of trying to end this war. President Zelensky, after the meeting, said that we want a peace plan, we want a peace conference, and we know that the United States is going to assist us regardless of who's going to be in the White House, which means that, you know, it appears that they did have sort of at least civil and cordial conversation. But Donald Trump has never made it explicitly clear that he's going to cut all military aid to Ukraine. So, you know, again, we'll have to see if he does occupy the White House, how American policy is going to change. Yeah.
That'll be interesting to watch out for. Thank you very much indeed, Susan Tehrani, for joining us and getting us those updates there.
Well, from one war front to another leader. Zelensky also met with Trump's Democratic rival Kamala Harris as well as U.S. President Joe Biden. And he also put forth the victory plan at the White House. U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris, during her meeting with Zelensky, voiced her stance for Ukraine.
There are some in my country who would instead force Ukraine to give up large parts of its sovereign territory, who would demand that Ukraine accept neutrality and would require Ukraine to forego security relationships with other nations. These proposals are the same of those of Putin. And let us be clear, they are not proposals for peace. Instead, they are proposals for surrender, which is dangerous and unacceptable.
U.S. President Joe Biden pledged in a separate meeting with Zelensky that Russia will not prevail in the war it launched in 2022, and also announced a new military aid package worth nearly $8 billion for Kyiv.
Let's now shift our attention to the other
civil and cordial conversation. But Donald Trump has never made it explicitly clear that he's going to cut all military aid to Ukraine. So, you know, again, we'll have to see if he does occupy the White House, how American policy is going to change. Yeah.
That'll be interesting to watch out for. Thank you very much indeed, Susan Tehrani, for joining us and getting us those updates there.
Well, from one war
range weapons, Ukrainians argue, could disrupt enemy supply lines and provide much-needed relief from border bombing targets. These 300-kilometer range weapons, Ukrainians argue, could disrupt enemy supply lines and provide much-needed relief from border bombardments.
We have to strengthen Ukraine's position on the battlefield. And that's why today I'm proud to announce a new $2.4 billion package of security assistance. I've also directed the Pentagon to allocate all the remaining security assistance funding that has been appropriated to Ukraine, period, by the end of my term, which is January 20.
And I raised with President Biden the plan of victory. Today we are preparing to discuss the details to strengthen the plan, coordinate our positions, views, and approach. Our teams will work together to ensure that implementation of our future steps.
Despite announcing new military aid and air defense capabilities, Biden stopped short of greenlighting the long-range strikes. This decision, while frustrating for Kyiv, reflects a careful calculus to maintain support without crossing Moscow's nuclear red line. As the conflict evolves, the Biden administration treads a fine line between bolstering Ukraine's defense and preventing a catastrophic escalation. Bureau Report, Beyond.
Kamala Harris as well as US President Joe Biden. And he also put forth the victory plan at the White House. US Vice President Kamala Harris, during a meeting with Zelensky, voiced her stance for Ukraine.
My question I don't understand from this thing, and why the former President Donald Trump, not only him, there's a lot of people say that about Ukraine. And then it's the way Russia is towards Ukraine. It's like there's no Ukraine left. And then why that they keep saying victory, victory, victory for Ukraine? What it mean? What he gonna have left by the time victory, victory for Ukraine? I don't understand this. What are they pushing on? What they go? I mean, it's like they say they don't have enough men for military. They don't have enough this, this. What they pushing on? Why can't they stop the war? Why can't they say enough is enough? Stop it. It's stopping people being destroyed. Why don't they stop it? They keep saying the guy keep winning, but all the land he losing from the other side, from Russia or wherever, he never got anything back. So what the victory he's talking about? Let's listen to it, guy. I mean, I'm not sure. I'm a little confused with this. I don't understand what's going on, what they're talking about, what they say here. They keep giving money for what? And then he can't even gain one of his territory he lost from Russia. It's impossible.
There are some in my country who would instead force Ukraine to give up large parts of its sovereign territory, who would demand that Ukraine...
But the Vice President, I don't see what's the problem here. The problem is, it's like we gotta keep fight with the guy, and he can't even gain anything with all the money you guys give him. He can't even gain anything from Russia. They fight. Should they stop the war? Stop it for people not to be dying anymore? That's what it should be. That's the best solution for other people. Now you guys say he don't have no military. He don't have this. He don't have this. You guys keep giving money. Fight with what? Let's say he don't have enough men to fight. Let's listen to it again. I don't understand this.
Accept neutrality and would require Ukraine to forego security relationships with other nations. These proposals are the same.
Well, I don't see what's the problem here. I mean, if the guy keeps taking everything you have and then you can even get nothing back, and if he said that, I think it's for your own good, I think you should make a decision. Why you keep fight for? Why you going gang in it? It's like you don't gang anything. So that's why I don't understand why.
Of those of Putin. And let us be clear, they are not proposals for peace. Instead...
So why can't you get found one? If it's this one has come up, you guys don't like that one. Why don't you guys come up with something different? Make it something different to stop the war. That's as simple as that. Let's go. Let's listen to it.
They are proposals for surrender, which is dangerous and unacceptable.
US President Joe Biden pledged to make a deal to end the war. But the latest meeting between Trump and Zelensky, where Trump expressed his expectations for a good meeting with the Ukrainian leader. Zelensky also met with Trump's Democratic rival Kamala Harris as well as US President Joe Biden. And he also put forth the victory plan at
wanted to meet with the former president. There was some rumors that they wouldn't meet because Zelensky sort of criticized the former president in an interview saying that he doesn't know how to end the war. But it seems that the relationship was cordial, and they were standing next to each other afterwards saying that they believe that they could find a path to peace moving forward. So, we'll have to wait and see. Everything seems to be on ice until after the election.
Now I got it. As him. Bless me. Bless me again. Sorry, guys. Now I got it. Oh, that's the reason why President Zelensky is met with the former President Donald Trump. That means he say he don't know how to end the war. That means by met with the President Donald Trump, if you like, if you ran the re-election coming November, that means the former President Donald Trump would end the war. He said he don't know how to end the war because with the President Biden, I think I decided what to say when he say that he don't know how to end it, but he do want to end the war. But it's something to me, Democrat doesn't want him to end it, but he feel like if the former president get in, he would end the war, he would help him to end the war. That's the reason why he met the former president. One more time, bang.
That's going to be something to watch out for because no one knows as to which way the elections will go. And Volodymyr Zelensky meeting both with President Biden and Kamala Harris and now
he's smart guy. He's a smart guy.
Is trying to cover his bets because post November, depending on who is in charge in the White House, he'll have to work.
Because Zelensky is a smart guy. He don't know who's going to win it. So he want to make the relationship with anybody whoever win the election. That's why he does it. Very smart.
Was Donald Trump to perhaps assist Ukraine in the war in the manner that Joe Biden has done so far?
Donald Trump has never come out directly and said that he was going to cut all funding and aid.
Ukraine's position on the battlefield. And that's why today I'm proud to announce a new $2.4 billion package of security assistance. I've also directed the Pentagon to allocate all the remaining security assistance funding that has been appropriated to Ukraine, period, by the end of my term, which is January 20.
And I raised with President Biden the plan of victory. Today we are preparing to discuss the details.
What kind of victory he's talking about? What kind of? I mean, I don't understand that. Why would they keep saying that? I mean, that's the guy destroyed the others. That's Russia destroyed your country. What victory is talking about? This is sad. I don't understand that. That's crazy. Let's listen to that.
Biden stopped short of greenlighting the long-range strikes. This decision, while frustrating for Kyiv, reflects a careful calculus to maintain support without crossing Moscow's nuclear red line.
There was some rumors that they wouldn't meet because Zelensky sort of criticized the former president in an interview saying that he doesn't know how to end the war, but it seems that the relationship was cordial and they were standing next to each other afterwards saying that they believe that they could find a path to peace moving forward. So, we'll have to wait and see. Everything seems to be on ice until after the elections.
Yeah, that's the President Biden pledged in a separate meeting with Zelensky that Russia will not prevail in the war.
Zelensky, on his part, said that that's the part that me and former President Donald Trump agree on. We want to put an end to this war. They said that they had a very...
Heads of state and government.
Bonsoir tout le monde. Bonsoir tout le monde. Kap gade vidéo, dans quel que ce soit côté ou ap gade là, nous disons bonjour, bien bonsoir. Nous pas connaît, nous passé chaque pays dans le monde là, gen les différents. Nous venons faire un petit coup de pied et ce dossier qui a bouleversé le pays d'Haïti dans la cour et la caille nous actuellement côté nous vivons, côté nous vivons. Et nous voulons faire un coup de pied pour nous dire que nous sommes capables de comprendre la situation qui a passé dans le pays d'Haïti actuellement. Et nous pensons quel que soit côté taillé comme haïtien, il n'est pas capable de bouleverser parce que Haïti chéri, Haïti son bel pays, son grand pays, et que l'on veut ou non pas, son grand pays, son bel pays. Et Haïti, nous parlons pour que ça nous t'ai dit monte là et pour que ça un peu dans leader ou bien spécialement blanc américain pour que ça gouvernement américain pas supporter Haïti correctement ou bien absolument et pour aider nous finir avec dossier kidnapping dans le pays d'Haïti, dossier gang dans le pays d'Haïti malgré nous il y a un peu haïtien les yo a parlé des pays yo dans social media yo bien yo parler c'est comme si y a vous remonter avec un petit groupe monde yo pas ouais pays ça cap supporter Guy Philippe ça cap supporter Charles gang yo dans pays d'Haïti comme ça nous pays a vinn tomber li vinn laguer et nous qu'on a écouté on connaît un conseil de commencement, de commencer Haïtien va tout non, de couleur cette tête, on conseille de 7 membres, on conseille de 7 membres, mais elle devient 9 membres, devient 2 et même on vient ajouter là-dedans. Nous connaissons actuellement, monde qui est dans tête conseil là actuellement, président conseil là actuellement, c'est Edgar Leblanc-Fils, et nous connaissons. Son monde, puis le monde a toujours parlé de lui à plusieurs reprises. Nous tendez sous ma télé, il a proposé à plusieurs reprises pour être capable de faire une transition à l'époque privée. Aussi, il a proposé lui à qui ça, il a proposé encore sous Jovenel et Neviten. Et actuellement, il vient créer une transition, un conseil de 9 membres, et c'est lui-même actuellement qui est dans tête conseil là qu'on y a. Il est présenté dans Nations Unies, qui c'est 79e session Nations Unies. Il a parlé, et nous pas de chance pour nous entendre comment il a parlé. Et nous dit ça déjà, et avec Haïtiens, et nous pensons Haïtiens au niveau, n'importe côté Haïtien passé, ils montrent au clair, ils sont Haïtiens. C'est bien ça, nous allons avec ça, parce que oui, nous sommes fiers que nous sommes Haïtiens, parce que Haïti n'est pas un petit pays. Haïti nous dit ça plusieurs fois, l'on parler de l'histoire dans le monde là, et on t'a dit premier coup, on t'a dit, malgré nous pas développé, mais nous t'a dit, Haïti c'est un grand pays, on peut comparer Haïti, la France et aux États-Unis. Et après, nous connaissons Haïti bataille pour aider aux États-Unis dans des séries State et Savannah et Louisiana. Et nous connaissons aussi Illinois, sont haïtiens qui ont découvert Chicago. A dit que nous ne faisons plus de bagaille pour blancs américains qui ont reconnaissance envers pays nous, malgré c'est notre dernier pays après l'indépendance qui était pour un paquet de temps. Avant de reconnaître l'indépendance, malgré la France, qui fait Haïti payer tout ça, parce qu'il était bataille du prend liberté, il fait le pays fréquent. On va jusqu'à maintenant, Haïti a payé fréquent. Nous pas écouter et nous avons souhaité un petit changement au niveau haïtien. Haïtien, un petit genre verbal. Par exemple, dernièrement, lorsque ancien président américain a été dit que Haïtien bagay il tout dit c'est le président dans le premier jour la venant dictature l'a déporté un peu le monde et surtout dans le monde qui est entré dans le programme président Biden là l'a déporté un peu le monde l'a voyé et tourner dans le pays et nous tendez le dit tout que parfois les gens n'a parlé pas tout bagay monde pour nous occuper il était dit que et l'a déporté et tout les monde qui vivent dans le pays Porto Rico l'a déporté tout Porto Rico ça tout Porto Rico ça l'a voyé au Haïti et puis la vente avec pays la Chine. Dernièrement dit l'a déporté tout haïtien yo les fini l'a déporté tout haïtien yo qui va la voyé dans le pays Venezuela. Est-ce que ça capable ça a un problème parce que songez bien aux États-Unis un président c'est pas lui même qui tout pays a un président c'est pas lui même qui tout pays a mais c'est le président pays a mais gen bagay li k'ap di toutes ces lois li gen bagay li pas besoin loi li ka faire executive order li gen bagay li ka faire mais c'est pas tout bagay li ka font executive order pour le faire ça la faire. Alors nous pas écouter président conseil là qui c'est Edgar Leblanc-Fils qui t'a parlé dans les Nations Unies. Nous pensons qu'il peut parler pour 30 minutes. Nous même ne pas capable de 30 minutes là, mais nous allons faire un bon petit coup là-dedans. Et oui, il parle, il y a bagay dit et Haïtien est capable de battre bravo pour lui. Mais songez bien, nous toujours parler, mettez là et depuis voisin et ou bien voisin depuis le pas vle pour avancer ou mettre parler jour vle, dissolver, nous pas avancer. A changé. Problème de sécurité dans le pays d'Haïti, toujours de même, pas de changement. Et nous pouvons comprendre ça. Et nous ne pouvons pas comprendre. On de ces gangs dans le pays d'Haïti qui ont tué. On a fait ces bagailles. C'est eux mêmes qui ont au micro, il a fait live dans YouTube, il a parlé dans Facebook, il a parlé, il a montré combien d'amis il y a, pas qu'à inviter. Il a toujours fait des deux autres dans le pays. Et Haïtiens encore, surtout, et nous ne pouvons pas comprendre, nous pas même gagner l'hôpital, sur l'hôpital pour craser. Nous pas une bonne prison, sur une prison, il faut faire le craser. Et moun sa la guerre contre vous, qui sont là dans la ria, moun sa tout prisonnier, tout criminel ça, ou la guerre tout dans la ria encore. N'a craser l'école, on pas craser l'école, on pas craser l'hôpital. On pas craser ça nous gagner, nous pas même gagner même. Au contraire, on nous met tête nous ensemble pour nous construire pays nous, pour nous faire pays nous avancer vers l'avant parce que Haïti Haïti, malgré on dit Haïti, c'est le premier pays noir qui était free l'esclavage. Tant que Jésus-Christ était fait, l'elle était venu, il était dit, la retiré peuple en bas l'esclavage, en bas la loi, Moïse là, malgré le mourir pour lui, il fait tout ça fait pour lui. Jusqu'à maintenant, il y a des gens qui ont crucifié Jésus toujours. Bah oui, il y a des gens qui ont crucifié Jésus toujours. C'est même gens Haïti venu, après gros travail extraordinaire ça, les ancêtres nous ont fait, jusqu'à maintenant, ils doivent cracher sous travail en ces ancêtres nous. Ils doivent cracher sous travail, papa nation. Haïtien, remet pays nous. En nous voit comment on peut avancer. Si mais c'est gang yo, pays à ces pays nous lié. Suspend craser, suspend bouler, suspend tuer moun qui bay travail dans pays a. On vit moun qui bagay malgré moi qu'on de série voyou, là yo monter sur YouTube là, sur internet là, c'est Tintin y a parlé, y a critiqué, y a parlé, y a voyé gang monter et nous dit ça plusieurs fois déjà. Et ce dossier et ancien prisonnier et c'est pour ça il a arrêté le prisonnier ancien prisonnier drogue dealer et Guy Philippe nous connaît nous t'ai dit ça déjà et Guy Philippe t'ai fait 2004 il pas qu'à faire 2024 ou 2023 et nous dit ça déjà on est qui se prend tout le temps dans la prison et m'pas penser nous t'as une élection dans le pays d'Haïti pour ta conseil électoral qui t'apprend qui t'a mis de participer dans quelle élection dans le pays d'Haïti encore son monde qui finit son monde qui gagne rien qu'a fait dans le pays d'Haïti encore affaire haïtien qu'a voyé qui Philippe monter nous un paquet là dedans sur média qu'a voyé ça va être Tintin qu'a fait juge qu'a fait en nous côté et président conseil là dans la Nations Unies Edgar Leblanc fils merci tout le monde si vous pouvez abonner avec channel là l'homme monter sous les ballon petit like remet page là abonner avec qui ton commentaire l'on quitte commentaire depuis moi commentaire m'a répondre nous sur une question vous voulez poser pour quitter m'a répondre question hein m'a répondre aux questions en bac on n'a pas fait des ordres on a fait bagaille avec principe parce que du côté nous passer haïtien nous pas un principe nous deux ordres nous tête en bas nous fait parler de nous trop Haïti son grand pays lié un petit pays Haïti a demandé on quitter le parler.
Heads of delegation, distinguished delegates, dear compatriots, I have the immense honor to represent here at the General Assembly of the United Nations the Haitian people at a particular crossroads in our history. We are a proud people. Despite all of the difficulties, we've always been able to lift ourselves up. The first black republic in the world, Haiti is proud of its heroic fight for freedom and human dignity. Today, we find ourselves at a decisive crossroads. It is with the weight of this history on our shoulders that we have a hope for a better future. This is how I address you today, calling for solidarity on the part of the international community. Allow me
ça c'est gars connu qui était là c'est gars connu n'a regardé là la passé si doit venir dans babli bon pas contre tout nèg yo elle pas ka venir
on your election as president of the 79th session of the General Assembly. Haiti stands firmly by your side and we assure you of our full support throughout your mandate in order to ensure that this session will be a success for the entire international community. I would also like to indicate the exceptional quality of the work of your predecessor at the 78th session, His Excellency Mr. Dennis Francis of Trinidad and Tobago, who conducted work with dexterity, leadership and wisdom. I would also like to take this opportunity to express on behalf of the Haitian people our gratitude to you, Secretary General Antonio Guterres, for your visit to Haiti, your presence on our soil and your unfailing support for our request to the Security Council, in particular with regard to reinforcement of the national police in Haiti, and for all your interventions in favor of Haiti have been very much appreciated, and we will never forget. I would like to express my extreme thanks to the international community for the support given to my country during these times of crisis. This solidarity, which can be seen through the security initiatives, also those of humanitarian aid and support for development, is very much appreciated. It is through this ongoing cooperation and adapted to our situation that Haiti is becoming stronger, more resilient, and will continue towards development and progress. I would like to greet here all Haitian compatriots throughout the world who, whilst being attached to their country of birth, are forced to seek out more favourable skies in order to make a living. Everyone recognises that they're very hard workers, and I want to tell them, wherever they are, that the Presidential Council of Transition and the government is thinking of them whilst we await an improvement of conditions so that they can come back into the fold. I would also like to take this opportunity to greet Amnesty International and other organizations closely following up on the defense of human rights of Haitians and violations of these rights throughout the world. On behalf of the entire Haitian people, I would like to extend a brotherly greeting to all friends of Haiti that have shown solidarity towards the migrants from our country, and in particular those living in Springfield, Ohio in the United States. The long history of friendship and reciprocal solidarity between our two nations since our participation in the Battle of Savannah of 1779 have enabled us to say with confidence that the American people reject any incitement to hate against our community. The active participation of Haitian immigrants at various levels of life in the United States is tangible and significant. In this regard, the passions that naturally arise during an election campaign should never serve as a pretext for xenophobia or racism in a country such as the United States, a country forged by immigrants from all countries and which has become a model of democracy for the world. Mr. President.
What he try to say here, it's like the former President Donald Trump do make it a huge comment about the Haitian people who come to United States. He say they eat animal, they eat pet, they eat cat, they eat everything. So that's why the transition président conseil haïtien qui c'est Edgar Leblanc fils, c'est sous ça l'a parlé, il dit aux États-Unis son pays qui formé et son pays qui construit sous immigrants, et nous connaissons, et Haïti c'est un pays qui bataille aussi pour aider Américains non de série et state pour pousser l'impérialisme les blancs français, spécialement à Louisiana et spécialement à Savannah, Georgia. Et Haïti est un paquet de pays, là, la Colombie, Venezuela, un paquet de pays, malgré ça, et Haïti dans le niveau qu'elle est, c'est ça. Et transition, conseil 9 membres blancs, c'est ça, qui est la petite sous dossier Haïti, et nous prenons le soin pour nous tendre, ou capable de garder dans la figure, il n'est pas content, et nous dit ça, son bagage raciste lié. Et commentaire président et ancien président américain lui fait sur haïtien yo qui vivent dans le pays blanc américain, et nous sommes capables de dire aux États-Unis ces pays nous tout nous bataille pour lui, et son pays c'est qu'on ça le formé, ça fait nous gain les Nations Unies c'est salier UN c'est salier, c'est ça que fait pays a devine pays là c'est un pile immigrant qui est deux pays à camper côté le camper. On écoute.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the theme of this 79th General Assembly is leaving no one behind, acting together for the advancement of peace, sustainable development and human dignity for present and future generations. This very much resounds with the major challenges that we are facing today. This theme is an urgent call for unity and international cooperation in a context where inequalities, conflicts, and the climate crisis are rendering even more vulnerable millions of people throughout the world. Whilst many nations are struggling to achieve these sustainable development goals, it is more necessary than ever to guarantee that all voices, and in particular those of the most marginalized, are included in the global decision-making process. This theme is also of capital importance when it comes to the context of the crisis in Haiti. It speaks to our fight to restore peace and stability, ensuring that every Haitian citizen is able to enjoy their fundamental rights. Acting together, as underscored by the theme, is essential for Haiti because our recovery can only happen with this international solidarity. President, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, today our world is facing unprecedented challenges that are of deep concern to the entire international community. The United Nations, in its historic mission to promote peace, security, and sustainable development, is in the front lines of the crises that are not only threatening isolated nations, but the entirety of humanity. Climate change undoubtedly is one of the great perils of our time. According to recent data of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, global temperatures have already increased by 1.1 degrees Celsius since the pre-industrial era. This increase has led to an increase in intensification of climate phenomena such as hurricanes, droughts, and floods, disasters which particularly affect the most vulnerable nations such as Haiti. In 2023, the United Nations Programme for Development estimated that more than 100 million additional people risk descending into poverty between now and 2030 due to the effects of climate change. For Haiti, which is part of the countries that emit the least greenhouse gases but which experiences the most devastating impacts of this global crisis is making it even more difficult for us to guarantee food security, access to drinking water, and economic stability. Armed conflicts also continue to sow destruction and to ravage human lives. According to the High Commissioner of the United Nations for Refugees, the number of people forcibly displaced was 110 million in 2023. That's the highest figure that we've ever seen. Whether it be in Syria, in Ukraine, or in the Sahel region, these prolonged conflicts are exacerbating poverty, destroying vital infrastructure, and leading to massive flows of refugees. The world cannot remain inactive when millions of men, women, and children are fleeing violence in search of security and dignity. The commitment of the international community is more necessary than ever before in order to find diplomatic solutions and to promote peace initiatives. Another major challenge relates to economic inequality, which continues to get worse. According to the Human Development Report 2023 of the UNDP, almost 1.2 billion people are still living in multidimensional poverty, namely that they lack access to essential services such as health, education, and conditions for a decent life. The COVID-19 pandemic has worsened these inequalities, pushing millions of additional people into poverty. For nations such as Haiti, this impact has been devastating. With a high level of poverty, the country is facing profound structural challenges, but these inequalities are not just a Haitian problem. They are a global problem which requires global economic reform. Moreover, the challenges linked to food insecurity have become worse in recent years. According to the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, more than 735 million people in the world suffered from famine in 2022, an alarming increase that reflects the disruptions caused by conflicts, economic crises, and climate. To see a thought being given to transforming the security support mission into a peacekeeping mission under the mandate of the United Nations. This transformation would make it possible not only to secure more stable funding and to extend the capacity of the mission, but also it would make it possible to strengthen the commitment of member states to security in Haiti. I am convinced that this change of status, whilst recognizing that the errors of the past cannot be repeated, would guarantee the full success of the mission in Haiti. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, today I stand before this assembly as the voice of the Republic of Haiti, a country whose history is inextricably linked to the ideals of freedom and justice that we all celebrate here. But Haiti, the first independent black nation of the world, today is the greatest victim of a historical injustice which has not only delayed our development but has also saddled our people with a burden, the repercussions of which we still feel today. In 1825, just 21 years after having won its freedom at the cost of a heroic fight, Haiti was forced to pay a colossal debt to France, the colonizing country, in exchange for recognizing its independence. This ransom, imposed under threat, siphoned off resources of the young nation, plunging it into an infernal cycle of impoverishment, which it still struggles to overcome. This debt was a form of punishment for our audacity in throwing off the chains of slavery and raising up Haitians to claim their human dignity. It was an unjust penalty which asphyxiated the economic and social potential of the black people of Haiti for generations. In today's context, where more than ever attention is being paid to efforts to restore without delay security and respond to the immense humanitarian needs in Haiti, I think it is important to draw the attention of this assembly to the after effects of our colonial past and the ransom paid to certain powers that have largely mortgaged the development of Haiti. It is worth recalling that Haiti was the only country to have paid for its independence, obtained, however, through the fire and the sword. On the eve of the 200th anniversary of this unprecedented event in history, hasn't the time come for these amounts paid to be returned? In this regard, my country welcomes the proposals made by a number of governments and also some agencies of the United Nations for specific action with regard to the recognition, reparation and restitution for the wrongs of the past.
Why so early?
Haiti has absolute confidence in the United Nations organization.
Go to Lawrence.
The pillars of which are the fight against inequality between peoples and the maintenance of peace between nations, that it will play its role in order to facilitate dialogue between the victim countries of colonization and the former colonial powers. Here, at the 79th session of the General Assembly, Haiti, and through my person, Haiti is not only here to request reparations, but to respect for its dignity and its right to a dignified and prosperous existence. The challenges that we face today are certainly huge, but they are not insurmountable. They require of us all a shared vision, a profound sense of our common humanity and determination to turn crises into opportunities for renewal. Each nation, be they small or large, rich or vulnerable, has part of our collective future in their hands. It is in this interdependence that resides in the world. I thank you for your attention.
This is the fourth time I've had the great honor of speaking to this assembly as President of the United States. It'll be my last. I've seen a remarkable sweep of history. I was first elected to office in the United States of America as a U.S. Senator in 1972. Now, I know I look like I'm only 40. I know that. I was 29 years old. Back then, we were living through an inflection point, a moment of tension and uncertainty. The world was divided by the Cold War. The Middle East was headed toward war. America was at war in Vietnam. At that point, the longest war in America's history. Our country was divided and angry, and there were questions about our staying power and our future. But even then, I entered public life not out of despair, but out of optimism. The United States and the world got through that moment. It wasn't easy or simple without significant setbacks. But we go on to reduce the threat of nuclear weapons through arms control, and then go on to bring the Cold War itself to an end. Israel and Egypt went to war, but then forged a historic peace. We ended the war in Vietnam. The last year in Hanoi, I met with the Vietnamese leadership. We elevated our partnership to the highest level. It's a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the capacity for reconciliation. That today, the United States and Vietnam are partners and friends. And it's proof that even from the horrors of war, there's a way forward. Things can get better. We should never forget that. I've seen that throughout my career. In the 1980s, I spoke out against apartheid in South Africa. And then I watched the racist regime fall. In the 1990s, I worked to hold Milosevic accountable for war crimes. He was held accountable. At home, I wrote and passed the Violence Against Women Act to end the scourge of violence against women and girls, not only in America, but across the world, as many of you have as well. But we have so much more to do, especially against rape and sexual violence as weapons of war and terror. We were attacked on 9/11 by Al-Qaeda and Osama bin Laden. We brought him justice. Then I came to the presidency at another moment of crisis and uncertainty. I believed America had to look forward. New challenges, new threats, new opportunities were in front of us. We needed to put ourselves in a position to see the threats, to deal with the challenges, and to seize the opportunities as well. We need to end the era of war that began on 9/11. As Vice President to President Obama, he asked me to work to wind down the military operations in Iraq. And we did, painful as it was. When I came to office as president, Afghanistan had replaced Vietnam as America's longest war. I was determined to end it, and I did. It was a hard decision, but the right decision. 4 American presidents had faced that decision, but I was determined not to leave it to the 5th. It was a decision accompanied by tragedy. 13 brave Americans lost their lives, along with hundreds of Afghans in a suicide bomb. I think those lost lives, I think of them every day. I think of all the 2,461 U.S. military deaths over a long 20 years of that war. 20,744 American servicemen wounded in action. And a significant risk. The list goes on. But maybe because all I've seen and all we have done together over the decades, I have hope. I know there is a way forward. In 1919, we defended the UN Charter and ensured the survival of Ukraine as a free nation. My country made the largest investment in climate, clean energy, ever anywhere in history. There will always be forces that pull our countries apart and the world apart. Aggression, and 50-plus nations stood up as well. But most importantly, the Ukrainian people stood up. I asked the people of this chamber to stand up for them. The good news is Putin's war has failed and at his core aim. He set out to destroy Ukraine, but Ukraine is still free. He set out to weaken NATO, but NATO is bigger, stronger, and more united than ever before, with 2 new members, Finland and Sweden. But we cannot let up. The world now has another choice to make. Will we sustain our support to help Ukraine win this war and preserve its freedom, or walk away and let aggression be renewed and a nation be destroyed? I know my answer. We cannot grow weary. We cannot look away. And we will not let up on our support for Ukraine. Not until Ukraine wins a just and durable peace in the UN Charter. We also need to uphold our principles as we seek to responsibly manage the competition with China so it does not veer into conflict. We stand ready to cooperate on urgent challenges for the good of our people and the people everywhere. We recently resumed cooperation with China to stop the flow of deadly synthetic narcotics. I appreciate the collaboration. It matters for the people of my country and many others around the world. On matters of conviction, the United States is unabashed, pushing back against unfair economic competition, against military coercion of other nations in the South China Sea, and maintaining peace and stability across the Taiwan Straits, and protecting our most advanced technologies so they cannot be used against us or any of our partners. At the same time, we're going to continue to strengthen our network of alliances and partnerships across the Indo-Pacific. These partnerships are not against any nation. They're building blocks for a free, open, secure, and peaceful Indo-Pacific. We're also working to bring greater measure of peace and stability to the Middle East. The world must not flinch from the horrors of October 7th. Any country would have the right and responsibility to ensure that such an attack can never happen again. Thousands of armed Hamas terrorists invaded a sovereign state, slaughtering and massacring more than 1,200 people, including 46 Americans, in their homes and at a music festival. Despicable acts of sexual violence. 250 innocents taken hostage. I've met with the families of those hostages. I've grieved with them. They're going through hell. Innocent civilians in Gaza are also going through hell. Thousands and thousands killed, including aid workers. Too many families dislocated